speechless.
Man.
What a talent.
Yeah, I was just warming up, getting into it because this is...
Oh, were you?
Yeah, this is...
tuning up.
I have that, yeah, tuning, sort of. I was actually getting involved for a little piece I'm going to do later on during today's show.
Oh.
Do you want to hear just a little,
wait.
just a tiny little piece I've...
You sure you don't want to practice
it's all right, it's all right.
I've written a special little piece for both of you. Would you like to hear it? It's very
Oh,
short.
well, okay, go for it.
Okay. So it's very short.
Just
ready?
Here
we go. Count me in.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, go. Man.
That was only the introduction. I was just going to get involved in it all.
It's a bit more practice.
Well, actually, I'm going to get... thank you for saying that, because I'm going to get Tommy Emmanuel to give me a little rehearsal, a little practice, a little warmth.
Tommy Emmanuel.
A few lessons.
How'd you get him on your show?
Yeah, well, because he is an expert. He is so cool with the guitar. Yeah, so he's going to join us on today's show.
Well, Vicky also caught up with a guy who's been doing a lot of practice. He's a 15-year-old glider pilot.
And Winky's got some new shows on WDTV.
Some more culture for us.
Yeah, called 60 Quackers.
Fantastic.
But now, guess who it's time for? Anton. And he's going to sing for you a whole lot of shaking going on.
Yeah.
GTV. But before we do, we have to tune in and make sure all the signals are coming to my satellite down here. Now, open up the roof, fellas. Is it open? Oh, it's coming in. Now, we'll see if it's working. I'll just move it around. Should move it that way. Okay, it should be working. Yeah, it's working. All systems are go.
Hi, good to see you. You're just in time for 60 Quackers. If I could turn back time. Good evening. I'm Mike Duck. I'm Richard Duck. I'm Jeff McDuck.
Help! Help! Someone help me! I'm not supposed to be here!
Oh, we seem to be having some sort of difficulty with that program. I will be back after this very, very, very short announcement.
Oh, no! I told you. Oh, it's still open. Oh, look, it must be his batteries. Winky, you've got to change your batteries. Oh, it's not this satellite dish. Anyway, it's time for Crouchy, so take it away, Crouchy!
Oh, g'day, how are you? I'm just putting the finishing touches on my little aeroplane here. I think it's rather nice, actually. There we go. Picture of me on the wing. Pretty clever. Well, would you like to make one of these little aeroplanes? It's really very easy to do. If you have a really good look at this, you'll notice that it's very simple. This piece of wood hasn't got any particular shape. It's just sort of a straight rectangle. So is this bit here. And that goes all the way through in one piece, and so is that bit there. And the bottom bit, the fuselage, is just made out of a rod of balsa wood. It's not difficult, you know, to design your own aeroplanes, so maybe you'd like to use this as a starting point. All you need to do is get yourself some balsa wood first. Now, balsa comes in different sizes. You can get different thicknesses and different lengths, and you can get squares or rounds or flats like this. This is called a sheet. Now, this particular sheet is 2.5 millimetres thick that way. So you'd need a sheet of that, and you'd need a length of this, which is 12 millimetres or so. It doesn't really matter what size you get, as long as you get a square bit. And the first thing that you'd do is see how many of these little aeroplanes you could fit into a sheet. Well, I think I'd fit 1, 2, 3, 4 with a bit left over. So they wouldn't be very costly to make. You could make them for your friends. The next thing you do is make yourself a kit, and these are the pieces that you need to make. First of all, you need a little piece of the square rod that you bought that's a little bit longer than the wings that you're going to make. And you can make the wings bigger if you want to. So it's about quarter as big again. The next bit you need is another piece cut off the sheet that's about half the size of your wings. Great. And there's one little tiny bit that you need too that I'll show you in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to cut this in half. Now, I've got to do this using a really sharp knife. If you're going to use one of these, be very, very careful. Don't try and cut through the balsa wood in one great big heavy blow. Take several cuts at it and always cut away from your body so that if that knife slipped it wouldn't get my body. Okay, that's one bit of the kit I've got. Now I'll cut this piece in half again, and that can be the rudder. It doesn't have to be exactly half, so I'll just guess it. Oh, I reckon that looks like about it. Again, cutting away from my body in little light strokes. Great, so that's the rudder. Now I'm just going to take a little tiny bit off here, not much, just a tiny little cutting. And that's probably the most important bit of the whole aeroplane, believe it or not. Okay, now we're ready to assemble it. What can you use to assemble it with? Any glue that you've got will be just fine, and you use pins to hold it together. But I'm going to actually use a hot glue because it works pretty quickly. I'm going to put the tail on first. Behind and underneath the tail, I've got to put that little tiny piece of wood. That's the first thing I've got to do. Then I'll lay some glue on top of that. And I'll put the horizontal stabiliser on. My goodness, what a big word. I've got to try and make that about in the centre. And that little piece of wood actually pushes the back of the tail up a bit. Next I can put this bit on top, and this will be the rudder. There we go. This glue dries pretty quickly, so I don't have to hold it with pins, but you may have to with yours. Now the wings have to go on. Before I put the wings on, I find the middle of this piece of wood and just very lightly score it with a knife. Then I turn it upside down, put my hand on it and crack it. Then the wings can go on. You need to put the wings about halfway back, I suppose, like this. The final thing that I need to do when that's really dry is to put some weight in the front like I did with this one, where I've got drawing pins in the front. And then you're ready to fly it. What a good idea. If it dives to the ground, you take a few pins out. If it tends to go like that, you put a few pins in. Nothing to it, really. Good little aeroplane. Before I go, I've got a great joke. Why was it that the cocky didn't like to say, Polly want a cracker? You don't know? It's because his name was Charlie, not Polly. I wonder if this flies, though. Let's find out.
Oh, thanks, Cratchy.
Why would you name a parrot Charlie?
Don't worry about it.
His
don't
joke's just so bad.
You know, this isn't, though. It actually flies. Isn't that great?
Yeah, well, that's
an
pretty
autograph copy.
Oh, man. Well, can we chuck it?
Shall we chuck it? We'll see if it flies again?
Yeah, chuck it.
Okay, here goes. Oh, not bad.